Star, or as the holiday was known, was always the center of the community. It was one of the first buildings built in our village of Park Forest, Illinois. In the early 50s, it served as a synagogue, as a church. People were baptized there. And then in the evenings, they'd come together and watch a movie. The idea is a business has to sustain itself to be able to become the center of the community. And so it's almost a natural thing to bring it back to its original position as a place in the community.
My name is Ashley Harrington, and I worked at Eagle Theater / Holiday Theater from 2006 until 2010.
My name is Tessa LaCourte, and I've been working at the theater for 5 years.
My initial reaction when I met Kenny was that he was this big Hollywood hotshot that knew everything about the movie business.
When I met him, he seemed really cool. You know, he was just so excited about bringing the theater back up to the way it used to be.
Kenny's personality was very large and extravagant. He wore nice sweaters and jeans, Eddie Bauer clothing, I remember him stating once, and top of the line kind of stuff.
Kenny did a lot of renovations. He wanted the logo everywhere, so he wanted it to bring personality to the theater. So he put, it was this big elaborate logo, and he put it on the front of the concession stand, and he put on the windows the logo again with a blue background. He redid all the seats, and he put the curtain walls.
He seemed like the type of person that knew everything there was to know about the movie business and running businesses, and that somebody to look up to.
Welcome back to FoxBusiness.com Live. We are talking movies. The owner of the Holiday Star Theater in Park Forest, Illinois. Kenny, you have such a great story because you just recently bought a movie theater. How come?
Well, I recently bought the movie theater because, an opportunity presented itself, and it's just, it's something that we've always wanted to be involved with, being an exhibitor. And it's just an amazing town and an amazing movie theater with a fantastic history that we knew that we could grow with. You got to remember that the things that we're able to respond quicker to what the community needs because it's me and my staff, or should I say my staff and me.
The community responded really well. We started to make money because of everything he was doing.
Kenny was very hot and cold, minute to minute, hour to hour, day by day. He could be very loud and extravagant and happy and just being overtly positive to being so gruff. He could be very depressed at times also. He just wouldn't say much, and if he did, there was a lot more cursing in a different way.
You could always tell he was in a bad mood when he would tell everyone what to do all the time. It's like, you need to do it this way. What are you doing? Get your popcorn off my floor. And other days, he would let employees watch movies and play video games while there were no customers.
Everybody at the theater doubted why anybody from Hollywood would want to come run a second-run theater in the middle of Park Forest, a suburb of Chicago.
I used to work 5-6 days a week, and then I was down to 2-3 days. And then he lowered my pay $1.25. That was one of the main things he did to me that made me so upset, was that he lowered my pay so much for no reason.
Kenny made so many extravagant promises to me that those were the promises that kept me going at that theater. He promised that he was going to get me a MacBook. He was going to help me with tuition to Columbia. He was going to help me find an apartment. That there was an iPad that he ordered for me on the way when iPads first came out. I never saw any of the promises.
But I guess he got pulled over and they looked up his name, but Kenny Yochelson wasn't there. And so they obviously did some research and they found out his real name was Kenneth Aaron.
One of the police officers said, "Hey, guess what? We arrested the owner of your theater now." So we Googled him, Kenneth Aaron, and it was very scarce, but I believe there were 2 articles that popped up. One with photos of him looking very gruff and just not the Kenny that we knew. There were a few things that it stated about his past, that he'd been in jail, I think it was a total of 23 years, and that he'd burned down a hotel room when he was 17 trying to cover up credit card fraud from his father's credit card.
We never thought he had a fake name and was a con man. So we were so shocked.
He used to live by a fundraising committee. Everybody in the town knew him, just like everybody in town knew him in Park Forest. And he offended many people there, as he did here. And then he got caught up with something. I think it was promising money that he couldn't pay. I think my actual initial reaction was, sounds about right. And then it sunk, and I was very shocked and just in disbelief that out of all the places that it would happen in Park Forest at the theater that I worked at, that it would be this man, that it was just, it seemed also coincidental and just out of this world. I never thought I would ever experience anything like that.
I think that Kenny cons because his life he feels like he has no meaning to his true life and that he is a nobody. So that he fabricates who he is in different, however many different times he did it, because he wants to be somebody else.
I think Kenny conned the theater because that's just what he does. That's what he's been doing. It's all he knows is how to con.
Everybody's skinny. Yes, I'm a snitch.